Hi, welcome back. First off, I have to apologise for the lack of videos recently. As I'm sure you can already see, I'm having some problems with my webcam not syncing the audio to the video. It's driving me around the twist at the moment, so I hope you'll excuse it. This particular video isn't a review, not exactly. Instead, it's me looking for some thoughts from people. We'll just get your opinions on things. About a week or so ago, I found a link off of one of the 40k forums, I forget which, to a site called Serlin.net, which seems to be a game design website. On there, I found well, it's a book basically. The guy's written a book, but he's posted it for free on the website, called "Playing to Win, Becoming the Champion." I've posted the link below, so if you're interested, have a look. Primarily, he's writing it from the point of view of playing tournaments of Street Fighter, both in America and in Japan. But he also makes reference to other games like poker and chess, Magic the Gathering. But pretty much what he says could be taken for any war game, and 40k especially. Now, there's 2 points that I'd like to comment on and get your thoughts on. The first, he makes mention relatively near the beginning of his book, as I recall, that regardless of how you view a game, you have to remember that even, well, I say from our point of view, even Games Workshop playtest their games, playtest the codexes, even if it's on a minuscule level, regardless of what we, the fans of the game, think they do. Regardless of how you look at it, there's always going to be something in the game that you're not happy with. Now, I got to be honest and hold my hands up and say well, that describes me. If you've watched my videos so far, you'll know that I pretty much have some kind of issue with game balance in 40k. Some of the codexes just aren't as balanced against others as they should be. Others are too good, and so on. Certain aspects of the rules bug me. Now, what he says is that, quite frankly, these are the rules of the game. These are what the company has put out, giving published games there. Effectively live with it. And that got me thinking, because there are aspects of these games, whether it's 40k or Magic the Gathering or any other number of the board games or card games that I play, things that irritate me, where I think, well, if I'd have been doing it, I'd have done this. And so I'm going to try and change my way of viewing games. I'm not going to worry too much that something is overpowered or, in my mind, or is better than it should be, or my opponent probably shouldn't play it in a casual game, and so on. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that those of us that do grumble about this, about the balance issues, or I don't like a certain rule, or it's unfair, what do you think? Do you think that that's, we should just suck it up and live with it? Or do you think that people should pardon me, that people should query it, and whatever comes of it, whether they just carry on playing or whether their group decides to take a house rule or whatever? I'd like to know. Is it just me that sits here grumbling? Now, the other topic that he makes mention of later in the book, and this is the one where I guess I really want your opinions on it. As you know, or as I hope you know from reading my or watching my vids, I'm a casual player. I don't do competitive. I'm not a competitive player. I don't see the point of win at all costs. I don't see the point of playing the twinkiest, cheesiest armies going. Play for fun and play fair. Well, he makes a point later on in the book that, quite frankly, competitive players, especially if there's a tournament system that they, either you go using Warhammer as an example, go to the grand tournaments, or your local clubs hold competitive leagues, whatever. In those instances, he says competitive players need to be competitive. They need to hone their skills. They need to stay on top of their game. And that casual players, it's the responsibility of the casual player to raise their game if they're going to play against a competitive player. Rather than grumble and moan, they should raise their game. Now, I have to admit, as much as I found his book quite interesting to read, this is the one aspect of it that I kind of picked out and got a little bit uncomfortable with, because my opinion is the complete opposite. My opinion is that if you've got a competitive player and you've got a casual player, it is the responsibility of the competitive player to lower his game to that of the casual player. Because the casual player may not necessarily be casual on purpose. It may be that he's just not very good at list building or tactics. Now, if you're in a tournament scene, then as far as I'm concerned, the casual player takes it on his own head by playing in it. But in a friendly game, my opinion, quite simply, is that the competitive player needs to bring his game down and play fair. Now, that is something I would really like to hear your opinions. Am I like minority for this? We do have some competitive players at my local club. One or two actually do go to the grand tournaments for both Warhammer 40k and Fantasy. And I understand that these guys need to play the best that they can, because if they let themselves slip, they're not going to get anywhere at the big tournaments. But I still think they shouldn't squish the lesser player, the casual player, rather. And yes, I will say lesser because I'm not a particularly tactical person, but I play for fun. The whole point of the game is for fun. Being squished by a thoroughly competitive player is not good or fun. But anyway, that's just a topic I wanted to raise, see whether anyone else had any thoughts on it. I'm going to post the link to this Serling.net and the book that he's done. If you've got probably half hour, 45 minutes to read it, I recommend doing so. It's quite a good read, and it's a little bit eye-opening. But let me know what you think, guys. And until next time, I'll see you soon.